So today I'm doing the cheap art supply challenge, and I chose to do it in watercolours because they're really cheap and you can get lots of colours in them, but they're still like, it's not like I'm using like wax crayons or something or felt pens, like they're blendable, and I thought maybe I could still work them even though they were cheap. So this set is 13 colours for £3, but it's on a deal, so if you get two it's like £2.50 each or something, but I don't know why you'd want to. So spoiler alert, these are kind of awful. They're really chalky and the pigment is just weird, like they either don't show up or it basically looks like gouache because you have to layer it so much that it's like a proper thick layer of chalky paint. So they were pretty difficult to work with, and I used Rowney, possibly? Some brand of mixed media paper, and the sketch pad is A4 and has like 40 sheets or so, and it's normally £8, but it was on sale, it's half price at Hobbycraft because they had an art sale going on. They might still, I doubt it though, it was quite a while ago now. But I chose that paper because my normal watercolour paper is pretty expensive per sheet, and to be honest, based upon my swatches of this watercolour, I didn't want to waste my nice paper on this because I knew it wasn't going to turn out amazingly because I'm just not used to working with this. So I don't know if I ever spoke about this before, but I used watercolour a lot as a kid and then I didn't use it for about 10 years because I only used watercolour like this and it was chalky and disgusting and I hated it. And then I got the Winsor & Newton Cotman Studio set and I've been using watercolour a lot more. But I hadn't used any horrible watercolour like this before, so it was kind of annoying. And you can see I did tons of layers, and I didn't use my heat gun to let things dry, I just let them dry naturally, because obviously the heat gun was like £10 and that's quite a big expense for something you could do naturally. Obviously it's useful for me, but for a cheap art supply challenge I felt like I should just work without it. So I put masking fluid down at the beginning because I wanted to do this kind of like sunset galaxy thing. So I had the sun in the middle and I had loads of stars around the outside. And that was the more like galaxy area, and then the middle was more sunsetty. I don't know. I didn't really know what I was thinking, I just kind of thought sunset galaxy and just kind of went for it and hoped for the best. And yeah, so I'm just peeling off the masking fluid. That wasn't expensive at all, it was like £2 for a massive jar. Well, it's not massive, but I've used it on at least like 20 paintings and it doesn't even look like it's been used yet, so whatever. It's very good value, very cheap, and I just used a little colour shaper thing to put that on with, but you could use anything really. You see, I was using I was using water and tissue to lift the paint, and the paint does lift pretty well, I'll give it that, the one pro of it. But you can see I have a weird kind of speckledy bit in the corner and I'm trying to cover it up, but nothing I do can because it's kind of like gouache and it hates me. And then I'm using a jelly roll because I'm pretty sure the jelly roll is cheaper than the, I can't even remember the name of it now, but the other white gel pen I have that's more opaque. But obviously this one's cheaper, so I chose the cheap stuff. So I'm just adding in more stars and I'm making the masking fluid stars a bit rounder. I'm just doing a lot of stars. I always feel like when I'm painting a galaxy the stars really make it, and so I was kind of heavily relying on that for this because the actual painting did not go as planned, although there wasn't much of a plan. I feel like I should say that even though I've been kind of negative about the paints in this video, I totally think you can do good art with cheap art supplies. I mean, like my Cotman watercolour palette, the pans work out as like £1 less each because I got them on sale on Amazon, but it's just because it's a big set, it's more expensive. Actually, I think it was more like 50p, which is crazy. But obviously it's cheaper because I bought a bigger set and it was on sale on Amazon. Whereas this is just cheap full stop. And I do think that some cheap art supplies are good. I mean, I use quite a lot of cheap fine liners. I use quite a lot of cheap everything, to be honest. I mean, I even use like Crayola pens in my sketchbook if I don't care about proper flat colour, because it's just my sketchbook and no one's going to see, and I'm more trying to get the ideas down rather than worrying about how perfect the colouring is. But you definitely can do good art with cheap art supplies. It just helps if you're not working against the flaws of your medium, which you can have flaws in your medium whether it's expensive or cheap. But obviously just finding the right art supply for you is always going to help you out and always going to make your art just a little bit better. Because I do think I could have done this better in my Cotton watercolours because I'm used to them, and these paints are really chalky and I'm just not used to that, and I don't like working with that. So the entire time I'm trying to work against the texture of the paint. But if you have something that you do like using, then it's going to be a lot easier because you're not trying to avoid the look of the material, even though that's just what it's going to do. You can see I'm using the jelly roll here to kind of go around the edge of the sun, make it have a bit of a bright glow. And then I'm going over the cloudy bits and with the jelly roll, and I'm just tapping it with my finger to lighten it up a bit because I didn't want it to be pure white, but I wanted it to be more white than it was. I'm just doing it in kind of squiggly motions because that's probably the best I'm going to get for clouds in jelly roll. I'm not good at clouds anyway, let alone in jelly roll on top of really chalky watercolour. You can see that the paper did warp quite a bit, but it kind of, while it didn't stay flat at the end, I feel like it isn't as bad as I normally have problems with when I'm not stretching, because I almost always stretch my watercolour paper because I hate the rippling, I hate how it kind of makes the watercolour settle in some places and it just looks a bit weird and it's really hard to get flat colour. But it wasn't too bad, and I feel like if this was put in a frame or maybe like put under a heavy book for a while, it probably would look flat again. I don't think it's too far from flat that it's not ever going to look flat again, but it doesn't look particularly flat in the sketchbook. I tried to like cover that weird speckledy bit in the corner with stars, and it kind of worked. I mean, just don't look at that bit. So, thank you for watching, and I'll put all the supplies in the description and their prices so you can see how much I spend in total. And I'll probably put that in an annotation on the screen somewhere too, hopefully, if I remember.